Namaste and welcome to Nepal's top 7 debaters produced by Today's Youth Asia.
This is the second competition round in the category of grades 7, 8 and 9. 12 participants have been selected from the first competition round. The topic for today's competition is mothers should stay home and look after their children.
The participants have been divided evenly to speak for and against the motion.
Mothers who stay at home can ensure their children the best possible start in life. Some of the early childhood development experts believe that there is no substitute for the consistency and nurturing provided by the mothers to the children. Research studies also show that parenting of the mothers remains the greatest influence in children's physical, mental, emotional as well as social development. Children inherently need their mothers. No other care provider can guarantee the safety, security, love and education of the child like that of mothers. Children are naturally attached to their mother for the fulfillment of their requirements like breastfeeding and so on. Some of the early child development experts say that mothers are really required for the overall development of the children. My fellow opponent in this context may argue by saying that mothers should work outside the home to tackle the financial problem of the family. But what I would like to tell to my opponent is that working mothers never make good mothers as their focus is distracted. They are simply money-minded. Stay-at-home mothers are responsible to teach positive qualities to her children like love, kindness, patience, tolerance, forgiveness and whatnot. Mothers are simply regarded as the first teacher of the children. Stay-at-home mothers can also keep an eye on each and every activities of her children and correct their mistakes. Latest research has shown that working women in Britain just spend 81 minutes each day with their children. Interaction between mother and child just for 81 minutes. Is it enough for the overall development of the child? Therefore, a responsible mother should always stay at home and teach necessary morals and values to her children. The children are not to be neglected for the sake of outside employment. Women as a whole are praised for successful raising of children at home, and this role is more valued than women working. Thank you.
No matter how much you may love your job, everyone needs some time to themselves. They say that being a mother is the best job in the world, but even mothers can't be expected to devote all their time to their children. Today, it is a cold, harsh reality that mothers simply can't afford to stay at home. With the ever-growing prices, most families require both parents to be at work. According to ILO, 80% of mothers in Nepal are working women. Isn't it more important to be comfortable in your own home life without money issues than to uphold traditions which have been started thousands of years ago? Situations have changed. Recent research shows that childhood poverty has a lasting negative impact upon children. In the light of such information, isn't it time that we change our views on women working? Anyone who says that working mothers can't make it in this world do not know the mothers in far western Nepal who are almost single-handedly supporting their families. In views of childcare, working mothers can provide better, as good as, if not better care to their children, as they can provide insightful advice to their children, as they know the dealings of the world and they have exposure to the world, which stay-at-home mothers can hardly boast about. Experts suggest that it is the quality of time spent as opposed to quantity which determines the level of emotional and intellectual development. Ultimately, it's a matter of personal preference. Thank you.
Yes, I agree that mothers should stay at home and look after her children, as early childhood is the most formative period of development for a child. By staying at home, mothers could ensure that the next generation has the best start in life. A child's only source of food until 2 years of age is breast milk, and if the mother is working, it's impossible for the child to get sufficient nourishment and care. A working mother has dual responsibilities to handle. Due to this reason, she has to face great pressure and stress. Due to this reason, families face disputes, which has contributed to the divorce rate that has increased by 30% in a year. Not being given enough time during their growth, and also because of a broken family, children are led into behavioral deviations like drug use, addictions, etc. When there's no one in the family to look out for you, your closeness towards your family decreases, which increases a person's individualism, resulting in the lack of respect amongst our own family members. According to a study published by the Institute of Social and Economic Research, children of mothers who return to work in full time before years of their before years their school starts, have slower emotional development, and score less in maths and reading tests. Also, as a stay-at-home parent, you'll know that your child is being cared by someone who's reliable and is going to be around for a very long time, not just a caregiver who might take up another job next month. Therefore, facilitating mothers to stay at home and look after her children is a better option in my opinion. Thank you.
There are more than 52% of women than men in our country, but they are imprisoned within the four walls of their home. This is the main reason for economic backwardness. Women literacy as well as education level is low because women literacy and education level is low because women are given the roles of housewives. It is not the responsibility of the mother alone to look after their children. I disagree with my opponent's point because there are many lady doctors, engineers, pilots, teachers, politicians, as well as social workers who are also mothers. Can we say that the children of these mothers are all spoiled? Let me give you my own example. My father has a work schedule of 10 hours and my mother is a principal, but I am not a spoiled child. Who says working mothers cannot bond with their children? Working mothers do not work for full 24 hours. They have enough time to bond with their children on weekends and holidays. Career mothers are role models for their daughters. Career mothers are role models for their daughters. They motivate them to go forward and do something in life. By saying this, I would like to conclude my point. Thank you.
It is almost in culture of all that mothers do stay at home and look after their children instead of going out and doing work. In the babyhood, babies need special love, care and affection given by mothers, which is very precious and cannot be supplemented by others rather than mothers. During the learning age, children need more time and effort. Naturally, they are more near to mothers, so it is necessary she stay at home and pay full attention to her kids. Researchers have shown that children do better in school when their mothers stay at home, which is because the mother is able to spend more time caring for her child. The Journal of Epidemiology and Community Health stated that children of working mothers are more likely to watch TV, snack on fizzy drinks and junk food, and eat too few portions of balanced food. Another research done in USA found that children of working mothers are approximately 200% more likely to have been hospitalized due to illnesses such as food poisoning, asthma, injury, etc. than of stay-at-home mothers. My fellow opponent said that women should get employed to support the family financially. But I would like to ask her, why should women bear all the burdens of men, that is to get employed, work hard day and night and earn money, when men don't have to bear all the burdens of women? They don't have to give birth to babies or do all the household activities, do they? Let me give you an example from my own personal experience. My mother is a working mother and has to attend different conferences and seminars in Nepal or in the international level. And during this period, we greatly feel her absence, and my father has great difficulties in managing the household activities and preparing us for school. We can see how important it is for mothers to stay at home. Therefore, I strongly agree that mothers should stay at home and look after their children and the family. Thank you.
Through centuries, condemned the weaker sex, restricted within the four walls of the house, and subjugated to domination. A woman, a mother. Yet, she's conquered her hindrances and attained the goals of her life. It's a very parochial, patriarchal mindset that restricts women within the four walls of the house. I believe that the greatest freedom we have is the freedom of choice. And if a mother chooses to pursue her dream and a career, do something besides parenting, there should be no restriction. Once you say that the mother should be the one staying at home and looking after her children, you're neglecting the fact that the father is also an important part here. Why saying that a father should be the one staying at home and looking after his children sounds impractical to us? Why? A working mother can not only be an epitome of feminine power, but she also demonstrates to her child that she can handle both career and family. According to the research done by the Harvard Bureau and affiliated with the European Union, about 27% of the GDP of Europe could be increased if more women and mothers were encouraged to go to work. And that's the scenario where the economy is harmed, and that is the scenario of the world today. And therefore, all my fellow opponents, you're saying that your mother should hold on to your hands until you grow up. I mean, you need to burst out from the bubbles created by your parents and be independent, better understood by the ones having working mothers. I firmly believe that it is not necessary for a mother to to stay at home and look after her children. Instead, she can go to work and pursue her dream and career. It is her life, after all. If supported by her family and friends, she can handle dual responsibilities.
Mother, wow, a word which gives a sigh of relief through our ears. Why? It is because the word itself signifies purity, and the word itself means love and care. She takes care of her children all throughout her life, and a mother's love is what every child starves for. Ask the street children and the orphans if they would sacrifice their whole life just to have a sound nap on a mother's lap. The obvious answer would be a yes. I myself, being a daughter of a stay-at-home mother, believe that non-working mothers can spend more quality time with their children. According to a study in 2012 made by the Organization of Cooperation and Development in the UK, non-working mothers spent a whopping 155 minutes per day in quality parenting activities, and that is equal to double happiness. Non-working mothers can instill good values in their children, can prepare healthy meals for them, can supervise them in their studies, can take good care of their health, and can also ensure that they do not fall in bad company. Whereas the children of working mothers are more prone to fall into bad company because they are not under the regular supervision of a mother. With kidnappings being plastered all over the press on a regular basis, perhaps it is very important for someone to be at home who is aware about the child's whereabouts. Another good advantage for the non-working mothers is that they can stay at home and can utilize their creative skills like knitting, painting, etc., for which the working mothers do not have time for. Instead, they leave their children with stressed carekeepers. And believe me, if I were a small kid, I would want my mom to be there for me and not a nanny. Hence, I would like to conclude my points saying that all the posh holidays in the world cannot replace a child's childhood in the absence of a mother. Let's not forget that it takes two people to make a child and two people to raise it too. Thank you.
Women are required for the participation in every organ of the state for the balanced development of the nation. Talking about role of the mothers, the subject should be analyzed on the basis of right-based approach. Provisions of Universal Declaration of Human Rights 1948, CEDAW Convention 1979, and other many conventions aimed at ensuring equality of opportunity and treatment for both men and women. In order to meet these rights, women should not be limited within the household limitations. When women are employed, the income of the family increases, their exposure and empowerment will be enhanced. Gender inequality is removed, and they can utilize their time, talent, and potentials. Talking about care of the children, the mothers can look after the children, involving in other outer activities without compromising the rights and duties of the children. Also, it should not be forgotten that both her individual career and taking care of the children are equally important for a mother. Nepal has implemented a law which allows women to take 2 to 12 months of maternity leave, and have established daycare centers inside and outside the working places where a child can get full love and care she gets from his or mother. Not only about child care centers, idle family members who are a lot experienced in childbearing and stuffs can look after the children. If not, helpers can be employed to do that. It's not only about working. Many children have grown up being successful in the absence of their mother. The condition of Madame Curie can be illustrated as the best example with the regard of working and in the absence of the mothers. With this, I would like to conclude my words saying that it is not that necessary for a mother to stay back home and spend her whole life only in the proper care of children, while she can discover her potentials, talents in outer world. Thank you.
If staying at home violates a mother's right, then isn't isolating a child violating a child's right? As said, with great power comes great responsibility. Likewise, if a mother is privileged to give birth to a child, she also has the responsibility to look after them. But my opponents might argue, why only fathers? Why only mothers? Why not fathers, grandparents, or even maid? Well, a recent article posted in Kosheli dated 27th March 2069 has answered to your question. A 4-year-old child was left in the hands of the father and grandparents as the mother was working in Japan. But within 8 months of mother's departure, the child was kidnapped by a recently hired maid. This means that in today's insecure world, mothers are the only helping hand for their child. And moreover, as mothers are given more maternity leave, she is the right person to look after the kid. But what about teenagers? Is mother still required? Well, a friend of mine knew a guy whose mothers were usually engaged in work, but at the age of 13, he got addicted to smoking. This means that lack of mother's guidance can mislead a child and further proves that mothers improving the economic status does not mean ensuring a child's future. My opponents argued that there are childcare centers, but the childcare centers are too expensive for common people and the free government ones are pretty unhygienic. With this, I would like to end my debate here. Thank you.
The term independence is not biased to gender like our society is. Thus, may it be a male or female, both have equal rights to work and utilize their education. Yes, I do agree that the prime responsibility of a female is her child. But what about the male? Isn't it possible for a mother and father to distribute their responsibilities towards their child in order to protect both their professional life? A woman who works outside establishes feminism in a male-dominated society like ours. Even in a family, a woman is respected more when she supports the family economically, as her support helps to improve the living standard of a family. Above all, it contributes in increasing the per capita income of the nation, resulting in the development of nation, as more than half of our population comprises of females. Above all, a female who works outside is more known to the traits of the outer world. Thus, she can provide better moral education to her child and treat her child better psychologically. Before concluding, I would like to raise a question to all my opponents. Today, we are acquiring education so that we can become independent in the future. But when we reach to that stage in the future, there will be someone who will protest working mothers. At that time, would we want the society to prevent us from utilizing our education? That remains a question.
God couldn't look after everyone, so he sent mother, was said by Rudyard Kipling. We often hear that no love and care is greater than mothers. Why? Because a child is emotionally attached to their mother from the very first stage of their development in the womb. So mother understands her child the best. By the research done in 2008 by Illinois University, it said that children who are attached to their mother at the stage of preschooling showed more emotional communication and better language ability than the children who were not attached to their mother. If mother stays at home, she will be there to monitor and in charge each and every behavior, manner and attitude of her child, which will stop them from misbehaving and leading to the wrong path. Teenage pregnancies, children being addicted to drug and many other problems which have now been a question to the solution in this society. Children need the presence of their parents, not presence of their parents. It is a biological necessity for a mother to nurture her child. I would like to answer my question for my opponent, why my father is not asked to stay at home and look after the children, because mother is a God-given position which is not available to father or anyone else. And how it can be expected that a stranger or other person in childcare will raise one's child to be a good human? Mother will stay at home and teach her child good culture, which is a benefit for herself in future. Now, I would like to sum up my debate here saying that mother should stay at home and look after the children herself. Thank you.
Both men and women are equal, and they have equal rights. But what is the use of saying this if mothers stay at home while fathers go to work? Mothers too should work. What is the use of a girl going to school, studying so hard if one day she has to stay at home and look after her children? It's a mere waste of education, isn't it? Life in today's world is very difficult, and the income of one family member is often not sufficient to sustain a quality life. Thus, mothers mother should work to fulfill the basic requirements of her children. And what about divorced mothers and one who have their husbands dead? They need to work so that they can fulfill the basic requirements of their children, isn't it? We are hearing of the increasing women violence nowadays, and people might have not tried to dig out the root cause. But the root cause here I'd like to mention is that women don't work. They are suppressed in this patriarchal society by their husbands and cannot speak out because they have no economical security excepting for their husband's income. It is pretty sad that still in 2013, the focus of this question is about how neglectful mothers are if they choose work. They just can't win. If they stay at home and cannot pay their bills later on, they are irresponsible. If they work so that they can pay their bills, they are neglecting their children. But what about women who work so that they can bring a change in the community? Thus, I strongly believe that women should work not only for the family's or children's benefit, but also for herself, for utilizing her education and to get updated with the recent world.
We now begin with rebuttal round.
Mothers who remain outside the home are not able to give proper care and affection to their children, due to which there may be the sense of guilt and inadequacy for the mothers as they feel that they are neglecting their children. On the other hand, mothers may feel extreme stress and tiredness as they have to juggle two jobs at once. My fellow opponent in this context argued by saying that the situations have changed and so on. But situations have changed. Does it mean that the love and affection a child has to deserve from its mother have also decreased? Of course not. A research done by Essex University of UK showed that the children of working mothers are more aggressive and slow learners than that of stay-at-home mothers. And do not you think that mothers should always stay at home and look after their children to teach the necessary morals and values so that their children can be the ideal citizens of the state? I strongly disagree with my opponent's points that mothers should work outside the home. If mothers work outside the home, then who will be there to look after the children in this age? Of course, mothers are responsible to teach their children about different things as the mothers perfectly know their children. Therefore, I come up with a strong conclusion that mothers are responsible, totally responsible to look after their children. Thank you.
My fellow opponents have argued, saying that at the young age, children require their parents, their mother especially, because they need care and affection. Most mothers get 18-month leave in many countries so that they can do breastfeeding and take care of their children during this period. At other times, I myself, my mother is a working mother. During the times between 2 to 4 years old, I stayed at my grandparents' place so that my mother would have to work. Many of my friends said that stay-at-home mothers spend a lot of time with their children while working mothers can't. This makes the children value the time all the more, doesn't it? It makes them value the time that they spend with their mothers so that they can create a bond, while stay-at-home mothers have children disregard the relation that they have with their stay-at-home mothers because they take them for granted. Similarly, what if the mothers have a dream? Doesn't it go against women empowerment if you're saying that women shouldn't follow their dream just because they get saddled with kids? Thank you.
My fellow opponents said that there's always a choice of childcare center in the absence of a mother. But I'd like to question them. Would you prefer a daycare center over your mother's lap? According to Sigmund Freud, up to the second stage of socialization, a child has his attachment only with his mother, who introduces him to the family. Do you think anyone can substitute for a person inside whom you've lived for 9 months? If so, anyone could be a mother. Why aren't they? I agree that the inflation rate is high and there may be some financial difficulties in a family, but I don't see the point in these problems being greater than your family, because there's always your family to hold your hand during financial crisis, but there's no enough money to hold your hand during family dispute. I strongly disagree that having your mothers take care of you makes you dependent. It's a child who makes a mother. Don't you think it's your responsibility to devote your time towards somebody who has created you? Therefore, I'd like to conclude my points once again disagreeing that mothers should start working and not take care of their children. Thank you.
My fellow opponent said that mothers who go for work are tired, but aren't the mothers who stay at home and do the household work also tired of doing the chores? It is not 1930s, it is the 21st century, and many of the mothers are going for work. But they manage to spend time with their children and bond with them. It is not the responsibility of the mother alone to take care of the child. It is also the responsibility of the father. If not daycare centers, then there are grandparents who can also take care of the child with more love and affection. Thank you.
My opponents argued, saying fathers and other members of the family can take good care of their children, but so it is not important for mothers to stay at home. But let me tell you, my friend, during the learning age, mother is the first and the best teacher who can provide her children with all the good manners, language, culture and behavior, and also fulfill every need of their children, such as cook good food, help to do homeworks and assignments, and every other works. They can also listen to their children's points more carefully than fathers or any other family members. My opponents also said that women should not let go of their opportunities and fulfill their dreams and ambitions. Well, I would like to ask her, if they are only concerned about their future and career, who will take care of their children's future and career? It is found that children get into bad company and become less disciplined, and which leads to depression, frustration and social maladjustment. Children are the future manpower, so how can we compromise with them? Thank you.
Mother, what comes in your mind? Children, husband, society, in-laws, family. Where is she in the whole picture of her life? And in this dedicated schedule of her life, if she tends to do something for her sake, it becomes a materialistic desire coming ahead of child development. Almost all of you present here today, opponents, almost all of you, you said that a child's development, whether it is emotionally, physically, spiritually, psychologically, depends on the company of his mother. Agreed. Although a mother needs to be there for her child, I believe that my mother, I can give you my example, my mother has raised 3 children working and she's always a great company. So I think that it all depends on how you practice parenting, how a mother practices to raise her children, how she practices parenting, that is what is important. The tide is beginning to change, and it was only earlier that the man had to be the provider and the woman, the mother had to be the housemaker in the family. Today, a mother has proved that she can be both provider and housemaker, and that is what we should be proud of. Thank you.
Now, talking about the arguments raised by my fellow competitors. The first argument raised by them was that working mothers are better than non-working mothers. But what if the working mothers themselves are depressed and stressed out of work? Will it be any beneficial for the career or the family? No, I don't think so. Secondly, they also stressed to the point that working mothers can balance their family and their career. But at this point, I would like to remind you all that a major problem faced by the working mothers of today is that they feel guilty of not being able to spend more time with their children. What if this guilt in them leads to their inactiveness in work? And moreover, according to a study published by the Institute of Social and Economic Research, working mothers are found viewed as less promotable and less reliable at their workplace because of their time-to-time absence just to take care of their sick children at home. In this way, the balance is totally disrupted and her compatibility with the family is also less. Similarly, she feels isolated from the society and extreme tiredness is always there to add up to her burden. Therefore, disagreeing with my opponent's words, I would like to end up my argument here. Thank you.
My fellow opponent said that children lose guidance because of only mothers are working, but I strongly deny it. Children who have their working mothers can do household chores on their own. Not only this, but working mothers have been a role model to the children. They inspire the children. So can't this be called as a guidance? Not only this, when mothers stay back home, then children have a strong feeling inside that mothers are born only to work, that also in house, to do household works and to look after them. So they treat mothers as servants. Now I would like to question them. How can this be called the guidance? Not only this, now talking about stress the mother has while working. Why don't my opponents think that Fathers who are the only source of income have stress because of his works and responsibilities of families. Not only this, but fathers who are working mainly like to stay back home and care the children. Therefore, I would like to say that it is not that necessary for mothers to stay back home. Thank you.
My opponents argue that the mother's education is wasted, but mother's education can always be utilized to educate her child, because education does not only mean holding a degree and having a job. My opponents also said that the mother would not be a role model for the child, but the child can also take celebrities, friends and relatives as a great role model, because he cannot only be confined inside mother's role models only. And rather, my friends also talked about a single mother being compelled to earn money. But the earned money might provide a life to the child, but he won't learn the moral values needed to live that life. And if my fellow opponents even talk about the increase in population by home mothers, I would like to say that we should not be confined only in China, Nepal and such countries, because we have countries in this world like Japan and Canada, USA, etc., where people have started worrying about the extinction of their citizens. So because of this, we should also talk about those countries and not be confined inside our countries. Saying this, I would like to end my opinion here. Thank you.
My opponent friend said that the mother-child bond is badly affected due to the mother's employment, but I'd like to give her an example from my own personal experience. My mother used to work since I was at a very tender age, but this never created a difference in our relation. Therefore, I strongly believe that nothing can come between the mother-child relation. Rather, the employment of a mother helps in establishing respect towards her in her child's heart. Thank you.
How many people are here talking about the well-being of a child? Everyone seems to be talking about only the development of the society, development of the mother, and etc. I disagree with my opponent friend, because if mother and father both go to work, there has to be someone to look after the child as well. And the money which is to be spent in the childcare can be saved. Instead, if a mother stays at home, the money can be used for many other purposes instead of spending on childcare. Mother is not a female individual anymore. She is not only responsible for herself, but a new human being's future as well. I disagree that mothers are spending their educated life, but if a mother teaches good culture to her child, the child will obviously look after the mother in future. So it is a benefit, however, in the future, isn't it? Will the mother choose career or the baby? If you ask this question to your own mother, she will definitely choose baby. If we say career is also equally important as child is, but still the answer to this question will heartily come only from a mother. Thank you.
While it seems indisputable that a child needs strong attachment with the mother, it is also equally undeniable that a family needs strong finance to support the child. Childhood poverty can have negative effects on infants. A survey by Joseph Rowntree Foundation showed that most criminals around the world today suffered from childhood poverty. And it's possibly not possible for a family to have a balanced income if only fathers work, is it? My opponents talked about mother-child relationship getting cold, but attachment studies show that children don't become attached to a mother if she stays with them all the time, but when children know that mothers will be leaving them for a moment and also returning back. And mothers working doesn't mean working all 24/7, is it? It's just a matter of 8 hours, and she can have the rest of the 16 hours with her children, and breastfeeding, if required, can also be done then. There are many gay couples around the world, and they both are males, and they have children too. But who provides their children motherly love then? They are looking after their children very well. Thus, disagreeing with my opponents, I'd like to say that mothers should work.
After their selection, today's participants will be back with another debate topic.
In this category, Nirisa Manandar of grade 9 from St. Mary's Higher Secondary School has received the maximum Facebook likes, amounting to 242 likes. Congratulations, Nirisa. You can vote for a favorite debater by liking their photo in our Facebook page.
If you are a student studying in between grade 7 and bachelor's level, you can apply for Nepal's Top 7 Debaters 2014. Our viewers can also send us debate topics for our upcoming episodes and win a cash prize of ₹1,000. We invite you to participate in the alternative education programs run by Today's Youth Asia. You can call the TYA office at 4257-250 or email us at youthtya@gmail.com. We will be back next week. Namaste.